Hello there, hello there. Hi, everybody. Today is Wednesday, and you know what time it is. It is time for a wonderful Wednesday wisdom nugget. I hope everyone had a great weekend spending time with their fathers. I think that's important. Shout out to everyone who spent time with their fathers, and my heart goes out to anyone who is grieving for the loss of their father. And if your father is in heaven, just cherish their memories and keep them forever in your hearts. I'm going to go ahead and get right into everything. So, my verse today is coming from Psalm 139, and the verse is 14, and it reads, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. So I like to think of that as an affirmation. God made you for a purpose. God made you for you. You should never try to be anyone else. That's why I want to talk about knowing your self-worth. So this topic is very serious for me because it took me a long time to know my self-worth. I've talked about this on previous videos, and I grew up with low self-esteem because in the African American community, we have what you call colorism. Because my skin was darker, I was made fun of a lot by my own people. And a lot of them would, I would be called Blackie, Black girl, you name it, charcoal. And then there's Kingsford that you use to grill. I think it's funny now, but I was called Kingsford. I went through a whole lot as a young child, even in high school, even in middle school. Lots of guys, they wouldn't choose me. They would always choose the lighter skinned girl or, whatever. And if it wasn't that, I was made fun of because of the way that I talked. I was called Oreo, which is black wanting to be white. Long story short, all of that, I have no regrets. At the time, it felt uncomfortable. At the time, it hurt. I still have no regrets though, because now it really built me up to where when people talk about me, I'm like, okay, you got anything else I haven't heard? It builds you up to really understand who you are, to really understand your self-worth. So I wanted to look up the definition of self-worth because I'm telling you, it's a good feeling to be in a good place, to love yourself. It took me a long time to get here, and I prayed for it, okay? So, self-worth, as defined by Merriam-Webster Dictionary, is described as a feeling that you are a good person who deserves to be treated with respect. Now, me getting talked about is more on the self-esteem side, but to me, self-esteem and self-worth go hand in hand. Because what good is it to have high self-esteem when you don't feel like you're worthy of being treated with respect and dignity and goodness? So for now, I think for a long time I had high self-esteem, but I didn't have high self-worth. I think it's important to have both. And for me, it's certain experiences I'm not going to go for. I'm not going to go for certain experiences. And I'm not just talking about physical things or financial or just materialistic things. I'm talking about being around people who are messy, being around people who are negative and complaining. I'm like, okay, my spirit deserves more. And I think that's important for mental health too. It's important to check your circle. It's important to really assess who you're around and what they're depositing into you and what you're depositing into them. If you are depositing more into them than they are into you, why are you surprised when you're feeling depressed, you're feeling empty, you're feeling mismanaged, your emotions are all over the place. You're empty inside. You are pouring from an empty cup that is not being filled. So for me, that's all a part of self-worth. Check your circles, first of all. Everyone around you should always be on the same path, aligning with the same goals. going where you're going, mentally where you are, they should be on the same maturity level. There is nothing worse than trying to get ahead. And by getting ahead, I mean trying to achieve goals and trying to really be successful. And you have people around you who are just not supporting you. They're being negative, they're whining and complaining, they're acting jealous, they're hating on you, or they just don't support your dreams. Cut, 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 cut. I can't stress it enough. I don't care if it's family, friends, relationships, cut. Jesus walked alone. That's what I always tell myself and remind myself. When Jesus went and took up that cross, did you see anybody with him? No, you didn't. And he was just fine. So for me, in my life, everything is strategic. Everyone around me, you have to be aligned. You have to be, it's very important for my mental health. So that's one key to having good self-worth and high self-worth. Checking your circles. The next thing you need to do is, it's okay to censor or to limit certain things. I think it's always a good thing to fast, because I think with life, you need rest. You need to purge yourself from a daily routine. Sometimes doing the daily routine and doing everything at the same time, you can feel overwhelmed. It can make you feel like you're losing your mind. Sometimes you have more things to do than you have hours in a day. And I think at some point, it's okay to rest. It's okay to go on vacation. It's okay to take a day off from. That's why they have mental health days. That's why they have mental health weeks. That's why it's okay to call out of your job and say whatever, just to take a day off and just sleep in the bed. Don't feel bad about it. Everyone needs rest. Don't try to say, oh my God, I'm lazy. No, as long as you pick back up when it's time for you to be on go again and you finish what you started, you are just fine. It is okay to fast. It's okay to take a break from social media. It's okay to unfollow pages that are no longer who you used to be. I think it's important to grow and to change and to elevate your mind, elevate your thinking, elevate where you're going in life. And it's okay to unfollow, delete, whatever, certain pages of people who are talking about stuff that's just making you cringe and you're like, this isn't good for my mental health. That's what the unfollow, the delete, and the block button is for. It's okay to delete numbers out of your phone. It's okay to separate yourself from old friends. It's okay to separate yourself from people you used to be cool with. I used to feel bad about stuff like that, but now I'm like, it's pertinent for my mental health. It helps me so much. There's just certain people, I mean, I used to sit at their table and I felt so free, but now I'm around these same people and I'm uncomfortable. It does not feel the same. I do not feel like we're on the same energy wave. I'm just listening to what they're talking about and what they're saying. And I sit back sometimes and I'm like, I'm not that person anymore. And you have to, it goes back to switching circles and being okay with walking alone. It's okay to separate yourself or to take a break from people. It's okay to take a break from a relationship. Even if you've been with somebody for years and you're like, we've been on a good, everything's been going good, but now all we do is argue. Now all we do, we're not hearing each other. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to distance yourself. And I think sometimes with distancing yourself from people, you don't have to announce that. You don't have to tell everybody, especially when it comes to relationships, because when you sit up and you tell people all of your business when it comes to relationships, and then you get back with that person, people are like, why are you going back? I wouldn't have went back to them, and yap. Mute. Stop talking about your next move. Stop talking about your plans and your goals and what you're going to do. Pray. You know what I'm saying? Pray to God. That's what he's there for. He's a secret keeper. And listen to your inner self. Listen to what it is you really want to do. That's why I say fasting is important. Distancing yourself is important. It's just so important to take a break from your everyday routine, because again, some of this stuff that comes your way, and when it's just back to back things, plus regular life, your job, whatever you have going on, it can overwhelm you to a point where you feel like you're going to have a nervous breakdown. And that's where your mental health has to be a priority. That's where you have to say, you know what? Let me take a step back. Let me go on vacation. Let me take a mental health day. Let me just limit distractions right now. It's okay to ignore phone calls, okay? It's okay to put your phone on do not disturb. It's okay to take a break from your regular routine, especially if you are a person that pours out to people, you pray for people, you are always there for people, because you will look to your left and your right, and these same people will not be there for you. So you have to look out for yourself. Check on your strong friends. Check on the people who are there for everybody. I promise you, they are going through. They cry in the dark. And that's why it's important to be there for the people who are never telling you about their problems. Those are the people you need to really look after the most. And another thing I try to do when someone's face pops in my spirit, I try to call them immediately, because I promise you, every time I've called people when their face has gotten into my spirit, it's always like, that's why I could not stop thinking about you. Don't be afraid to pick up that phone when somebody is coming across your mind. Just don't be afraid to do it. Even if they don't pick up, they may call back later. And yeah, when you're really going through sometimes and when life overwhelms you, it's okay to take that break. Know your self-worth. Understand that your mental health comes first. Understand sometimes that some of your good qualities, it comes first. Lastly, do not settle. Do not settle in a job. Do not settle in relationships, friendships. I don't care how long it takes for me to get to someone who treats me right. I refuse to settle. I refuse to say in my mind, oh, he doesn't have everything I want, but, I'll take him because, I don't want anyone to think that I can't get anyone. I don't care what people think. And you have to get to that point. It's not about what people think. It's not a competition. It's not about just grabbing anybody to show that you can have somebody. I mean, that's what a lot of people are doing, and they're miserable in the dark. My biggest fear is marrying someone and I hate them every day. And like I'm putting on a show for people and trying to pretend like I like this person and I hate this person. I want to marry my best friend. I want to marry someone that I love. I want to marry someone who treats me divine, and I will do the same for him. I want to marry somebody and look at him at night and say, you know what? Night, day, sorry, whenever. I want to look at this person and say, you know what? God sent this man to me, and I know it, and I feel it in my soul. This is true love. I think everyone deserves that. But sometimes people do not want to wait. They do not want to wait out that process. Do not settle. That's all a part of having good self-worth. Don't ever settle in anything. Don't settle in a job. Don't settle in a relationship. Don't settle in these friendships. Don't even settle with yourself. Even in your past, when those thoughts come up, you'll never make it. You'll never do that. They said that you will never do so and so. You talk back and say, I will do that because I'm fearfully and wonderfully made through Christ. It is going to happen. I will transform. I will be successful. I will have my business. I will buy that house. I will get that car. Whatever. And even it's not about materialistic things. Sometimes for me, in this season, I just want to transform. I want to grow. I want to be able to take accountability, because how many of y'all know I have a hard time taking accountability. When somebody tells me about myself, I'm ready to just slap them. I'm ready to be like, you know what? But you so-and-so. And that's not what taking accountability is about. When someone tells you about yourself, hush. It's not about pointing fingers. It's about accepting it, listening, taking that deep breath and saying, you know what? You're right. I do those things, and I am going to work on it. I am going to change, and I'm going to be a better person. Thank you for pointing that out to me. That's all about knowing your self-worth. not wanting to be the same, not wanting to have the same toxic traits year after year after year, because so many of us think it's other people and it's really us inside. We have to do the legwork. We have to really take a look in the mirror and really change ourselves and change those toxic traits. Listen to people who tell you the same thing about yourself that's toxic, and find the ways to change it. If you need therapy, I'm all for therapy. I'm going to say it in every video. If you need therapy, do it. Get a self-help book. But life is too short to sit in toxic traits and allow people to just, they're scared of you, or they're walking on eggshells around you because you have all of this bad stuff inside of you that you need to release. Release it. Release what somebody did to you 10 years ago. It's a new day. Who cares? Let go of your pain. Let go of that bondage. That's all a part of having good self-worth. Don't you want to be free? Don't you want to be happy every day? Don't you want to sleep at night all night long? Do you know so many people are not sleeping all night long because of all the stuff that's in their mind? They don't want to release it. Imagine being in that kind of bondage. Release it. That's all a part of knowing and loving your self-worth. Love on yourself. Get the help that you need. Separate yourself from the wrong people. Limit distractions. And don't be scared to cut people off. Again, it's okay. Sometimes people are seasonal. Actually, a lot of times people are seasonal. And the friendship, the relationship has taken its course. Don't get upset. And a lot of times it doesn't mean that they're a bad person. Don't trash talk them. Just leave with pride, dignity, and respect. Leave just in a mature way. Don't go on Facebook writing statuses and paragraphs telling all their business. We don't care. The audience doesn't care. And it just looks like drama and trash. Be better. Just focus on being a better person day by day by day. And I promise you, there's nothing like being in a place of knowing your self-worth, not settling, achieving your goals, and just walking in total peace. It's a wonderful feeling. Don't you want to get there? Let's get there together. So let's focus and practice on all the things that I said. I'm trying to make this quick. But yes, self-worth is the key to good mental health. Knowing your self-worth is also the key to achieving your goals and being successful. So please know and love yourself. Again, do not settle. You're too good to settle. You're too good. If you waited all of this time, you can continue to wait on the best thing that God has for you. Do not grow weary and do not grow faint. God knows what's best for all of us and the timing of it all. Be blessed. Know your self-worth, y'all. Bye-bye.